Imagine a young woman named Sarah standing on the edge of a steep mountain, trembling with fear. The wind howls in her ears, and the ground seems impossibly far below. She had always dreamt of reaching the summit, but now that she was halfway up, the doubt crept in. Her legs felt weak, and her mind was screaming at her to turn back. At that moment, she had a choice: to keep climbing or to give in to her fear. We all face mountains like Sarah's at some point in our lives, and these mountains often appear in unexpected forms: setbacks, fears, or situations that test our limits. But what separates those who reach the summit from those who turn back isn't physical strength, luck, or even skill. It's mental strength. Mental strength is the ability to push through difficulty, embrace uncertainty, and remain calm under pressure. It isn't about being unaffected by challenges, but about responding to them with courage and resilience. Many people mistakenly believe that mental strength is something you're born with or something only elite athletes, soldiers, or leaders possess. But the truth is, anyone can develop it. It's like a muscle that grows stronger with use, and you don't need to be extraordinary to start training it. The first step is understanding that you have more power over your thoughts and emotions than you might think. It's not the absence of fear or struggle that matters, but what you do in those moments when your inner voice whispers, "I can't." Take Thomas Edison, for example. Before inventing the light bulb, he failed thousands of times. Each failure could have been a reason to quit, but instead, he saw it as another step closer to success. Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His mental strength lay in his ability to see each setback as part of the journey rather than as a roadblock. This mindset is at the heart of overcoming any challenge, seeing difficulties not as signals to stop but as opportunities to grow. Developing mental strength begins with the stories you tell yourself. If you tell yourself that you're not good enough, smart enough, or strong enough, you will begin to believe it. But when you change your inner dialogue to one that is empowering, you start seeing possibilities instead of obstacles. It's about recognizing your fears, doubts, and anxieties and deciding to keep moving forward anyway. This doesn't mean denying your emotions, but rather acknowledging them and choosing not to be ruled by them. In a sense, it's like training your mind the way you would train your body for a marathon. Slowly building your endurance, learning to overcome the discomfort, and refusing to quit when it gets tough. Sarah's story doesn't end at the halfway point on that mountain. As she stood there, she remembered why she had started climbing in the first place. It wasn't just about reaching the top. It was about proving to herself that she could do it. She took a deep breath, steadied her nerves, and decided to take it one step at a time. Every step felt like a small victory. The climb didn't get any easier, but her perspective did. She began to focus not on the overwhelming distance remaining, but on each step she could control. With each step, she became more confident, and that confidence propelled her forward. Eventually, she made it to the summit, exhausted but triumphant. She realized that the real victory wasn't just reaching the top, it was finding the strength within herself to keep going. When faced with a challenge, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that success or failure is determined by the outcome alone. But more often than not, the true measure of success is how you approach the challenge. Do you allow fear to dictate your actions, or do you face it head-on? Nelson Mandela once said, "I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear." Mandela's words remind us that fear is not a sign of weakness. It is a universal human experience. What matters is how we respond to it. To unlock your mental strength, you need to face your fears, not flee from them. Embrace discomfort as a necessary part of growth. The more you practice facing challenges, the stronger your mental resilience becomes. One way to build mental strength is through setting small, manageable goals. When the challenges before you seem insurmountable, breaking them down into smaller tasks can help you stay focused and motivated. Small wins create momentum and gradually build confidence, which is essential for tackling bigger obstacles. When mountaineers climb Everest, they don't aim to reach the summit in one go. They set up base camps at various levels, making the climb manageable by taking it in stages. This approach can be applied to any daunting task in life. By setting achievable milestones, you allow yourself to celebrate progress, which keeps you moving forward. Another key aspect is learning to control your focus. When life throws challenges your way, it's easy to focus on what you can't control, like other people's actions or unforeseen events. But focusing on what you can control, such as your effort, attitude, and perspective, allows you to maintain a sense of agency even when circumstances seem chaotic. Think of athletes who suffer career-threatening injuries. Some may be devastated and give up, while others decide to focus on their rehabilitation to come back stronger. It's not about what happens to you, but how you respond to it. When you control your focus, you control your narrative, and that narrative can give you the strength to keep going. One of the most inspiring examples of mental strength comes from Helen Keller. Despite being both blind and deaf, she became an author, activist, and lecturer. Her journey was one of constant struggle, yet she chose not to be defined by her limitations. She wrote, "Although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of the overcoming of it." Keller's life is a testament to the idea that our circumstances do not define us. What defines us is our ability to find meaning and strength even in the face of adversity. Unlocking your mental strength requires daily practice and a willingness to embrace discomfort. It is about doing the hard things even when you don't feel like it and pushing yourself to be better even when it's difficult. There will always be moments of doubt and discouragement, but in those moments, remember that mental strength is not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's about the willingness to get back up every time you fall, to face challenges even when they seem impossible, and to keep moving forward even when the path is unclear. At its core, mental strength is the realization that you are not defined by your struggles, but by how you respond to them. It's about taking control of your thoughts, focusing on what you can do, and believing that you have the power to change your story. Just like Sarah on the mountain, every step you take towards overcoming your fears builds your strength, one small victory at a time. The journey may not be easy, but the view from the top makes it all worth it. Remember, it's not the size of the mountain that matters, but the strength of the climber.